Of all the places in the world you dream of visiting, Mongolia probably isn't on your list, but it should be. I'm going to use 2 techniques from behavioral psychology to see if I can get you on a flight to Mongolia this summer. This is my second video on Mongolia. In the first video, I began shifting your perception of Mongolia from outdated depictions of Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun, who by the way isn't Mongolian, to this. I could tell you more about Mongolia's incredible landscapes, rich culture, and outdoor adventures, and that would certainly help. But to get you to actually visit the country, you're going to need a bigger push. On my recent trip to Mongolia, the president gifted me this beautiful teacup with a gold embossed symbol of Mongolia. Would you trade your generic coffee mug for this beautiful cup? Surprisingly, most wouldn't. Why, you ask? It's called the Endowment Effect, which suggests that we tend to value things we own more than things we don't. The emotional connection we have to an item, whether a car or a coffee mug, makes it worth more than its market value. Would I trade my new teacup for your Apple Watch? Not a chance. The Endowment Effect isn't limited to objects. It also applies to how we value places and experiences. What if I told you that your ancestry came from Mongolia? That you had Mongol DNA. Hundreds of millions of people unknowingly carry Mongol DNA. So there's a chance you have some too. Surprised? Once you realize you're connected to Mongolia, your interest and affinity towards the country naturally increases. A campaign was run in the border town of Mexico, where they interviewed some people that may or may not have been a little bit racist towards Mexico. When they took that DNA test and showed them that they were part Mexican, it was incredible to watch them shift their perspective from viewing Mexico as a place they would never go to Mexico as a place that might be part of their heritage and they're excited to visit. Instead of seeing Mongolia as a distant other, you start seeing it as part of you. It's no longer a faraway land from an animated movie, it's part of your heritage. If you discovered you had Mongol DNA, you'd be much more likely to visit Mongolia. Still not ready to book a flight? Here's another powerful tool. We often mistakenly believe that changing a behavior is all about motivation. If you want to get in shape this year badly enough, you'll do it. That right there is a 6-pack of sheer determination. In reality, motivation is only part of the equation. Stanford researcher BJ Fogg created this model to explain when behavior takes place. Along with the desire to do something, we must have the ability to do it. You can wish to save money all you want, but if it isn't sufficiently easy, you'll most likely fail. It's often better to remove friction than to increase motivation. This is a core part of how technology is designed today. It's so easy to say yes. My recent trip to Mongolia took me over 40 hours to get there, but soon there'll be a new direct flight where you can get there in just 12 hours. The logistics of getting to the country will no longer be the massive barrier they used to be. The final piece of the behavior is a prompt. Something that triggers you to take action. This could be a text notification, a message from a friend, or even an advertisement like this. Fogg insists that behavior happens when motivation, ability, and prompt all converge at once. It may sound complicated, but look how it could work for Mongolia. The DNA connection to Mongolia would increase your motivation. A direct flight from San Francisco to Ulaanbaatar makes the travel easier. Combine that with exposure to the beautiful scenery from ads like this, and I guess you better pack your bags. Follow for more behavioral psychology tips and techniques.